Road to the Kentucky Derby 2025. We have a number of horses who can clinch a spot in the Kentucky Derby this weekend. We're going to show you how they can do it, and we'll also show you how some of the other horses who aren't running on Saturday can do it in the big races coming up in the following week. Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host, where we bring you fresh new horse racing information every single day. And this weekend, the first two 100-point Kentucky Derby prep races take place on Saturday. And what a card both of these tracks have. We have the Louisiana Derby 100-point qualifier at Fairgrounds, closing weekend there. Same thing for Turfway Park. We have the Jeff Ruby Stakes on the Tapeta surface going off at Turfway Park tomorrow on Saturday. Now we have some horses that can clinch a spot this weekend. And this season is turning out a little bit differently, qualifying point-wise for the Kentucky Derby than some years past, where usually to this point, 46 points has been enough in the past to get in the Kentucky Derby. Last year, 37 qualified, so it was a little bit lower. But this year, the way these prep races have been shaking out so far, we're seeing a different picture. It looks like right now, as many as 61 points could possibly be needed to gain a berth in the 2025 Kentucky Derby. So it's very contentious, this race. And tomorrow kicks off the first two of a bunch of 100-point races. So a lot of things are going to be coming into focus beginning this weekend, beginning with some horses who can clinch. So let's get right to it. I'm going to show you how they can clinch and why, what has to happen, and also how some of the other horses that aren't running this weekend can clinch. So I'm going to bring up a chart here. Now, this chart, this is thanks to Horse Racing Nation. What they're bringing us here, they laid it out for us. I'll put a link to the whole article down below in the description area, and you might want to read it. And we'll begin with horses who have clinched a spot in the Kentucky Derby already. And I think you're going to be surprised when you hear about this, because as of right now, there are only 2 points who have two horses who have clinched a spot. Coal Battle with 70 points in Owen Almighty, two of them that you might consider long shots, right? True, but they're the ones that have clinched, meaning 61 points or more. Cold Battle with 70 and Owen Almighty at 65. But who can get, and we'll look at some of the others underneath real quick. History says that 46 points or more gets you in. So you got Citizen Bull there, Serenity, American Promise, Flood Zone. Yeah, Flood Zone. 50 points, Journalism, and Getaway Car. So they've clinched. But who can clinch this weekend? And we'll begin with the Louisiana Derby. One of the horses who can clinch a spot, who currently has 35, is Bill. Now, Bill from the Kelly Blue Book Louisiana Derby runs very well at the track. So this one's in really good shape over there. And he just 26 points would get him to 25. Let's see, 10th place, 35 points. I mean, he could finish really. Top two clinches a spot in the Derby if you're going by the 64 points. But if he finishes in the top four, which I believe he will be, I believe he's one of two that look like the heavy-duty ones that, from my handicapping so far, that will most likely get it done, especially since he likes the track. So he can come in as much as deep as four, but he can clinch a spot with a top two finish. Okay, and another one, Chunk of Gold. He's another, so that's one that can clinch a spot. Chunk of Gold also running in the Louisiana Derby, 25 points. A top two clinches it. I don't see that happening for you handicappers out there. We can see this. It's going to be a very tough race. There's some horses in there that if they step forward, they can possibly win the race, and some others, if they move back a little bit, such as Bill, hey, he might still be on the bubble here. I'd be surprised, but Chunk of Gold, he's going to have his work cut out for him because there's two in here that stand out. We'll get to those. So Chunk of Gold, he's another one. So that's two. John Hancock. All right, what does he do? Top two, he can finish. Now, this one doesn't quite have the experience. I think he's going to be up against it in that race. One of the speeds, we'll have to see what happens there. We have some speeds in that race. So he's going to be in Louisiana Derby. He can clinch a spot in the top 2. That's 3. And another one, California Burrito, top 2 clinches in the Jeff Ruby Stakes over at Turfway Park. That one he's opening at 7-2 as the second choice in the Jeff Ruby California Derby front running type. If he wins, if I tell you what, if he goes off anything less, he opens 7-2. If he opens up at anything less than 5-1, I would be absolutely shocked, and I will be drooling, because this one is a horse that I'm dead red against. But he can clinch his spot with a top 2 finish. All right. So we'll see what happens. And he runs at that track. So I guess there's some kudos there, but by the sheets, by the Thorograph, this one is not even in the picture. Okay, Tistastic, a little bit. I give him a better shot than California Burrito. He's another one, top 2 finish. He can slip in there in the LA Derby, which I'd be surprised if he finishes in the top 2 over there as well. But he can. All right, so that's another one that can finish in the clinch a Derby spot. Poster, now this one, he only has 16 points, but a top 2 will clinch him a spot. What I see from Poster, by the numbers, by the figures, by how the race is shaping up, there's a lot of speed in there. If the speed develops early, you got other horses in there that have early speeds, such as California Burrito, etc. Innovator, the D. Wayne Lucas horse, has a ton of early speed. He'll also be in the Ruby, and some others as well. Poster, he's opening up as the favorite at 3-1 over for the Jeff Ruby over at Turfway Park. And I would be absolutely shocked if he goes off more than 7-5 or 8-5. And I'll tell you what, if there is some sharp, if the people are really sharp, I could see this one maybe even going off at less than even money, 4-5 or so. But you got D. Wayne Lucas in there. I'm not too worried about that. Where do I think Poster? I think anything above. If you get anything close to 3-1, holy crap! Overlay for the ages. Okay, so he needs a top 2 finish over there. I believe he will clinch his spot. So he's another one that can clinch one. Okay, who else? Now some others need a win to clinch, and we'll go down the list there. And now here we go. And we're going to go right to Baby Max, Jeff Ruby Stakes. That's a really tall order. I don't see that happening, but he can clinch a spot in the Kentucky Derby. Caldera, very interesting now. Now the win clinches and the top 2, I believe the 60 points. And I believe at the end of the day, it's probably going to be closer to about 45 points that qualifies when the dust settles a little bit. I don't think it'll ever go 61 to qualify. That's really pushing it. But Caldera, by the numbers, especially the last race, and you have D. Wayne Lucas involved, but especially how quick this one ran. Last race, Caldera, I think he's an upset. I think the top two horses in that race, and they have a slightly different running style. They could very easily finish 1-2, is Built and Caldera. So I see Caldera had very good chance to win the race, as is Built, or between the two of them. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'd probably say Built, since he's been running so well at the track. I would like him a little better than Caldera. But Caldera, you got D. Wayne Lucas, a win or a second, he's probably in, but a win will clinch Caldera a spot. Very solid, the great horse. Okay, some of the others in there, Jeff Ruby, a win clinches, Maximum Promise, Innovator.
Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local
win
Honda
clinches.
dealer
It's a 100-point race. We're not going to go through all of them because obviously 100 points, a bunch of horses that are entered in these races. I'm just giving a little extra attention to the one that I see as having a shot to really get it done and clinch it. As far as the other ones, You got some with 0 Derby points. Furio, I see he's one with 0 Derby points running in the LA Derby. Has a lot of early speed over there. We'll see what happens there. Remember what Magnitude did in the one race. He's not in anything now. Ran the 108 buyer, and the early speed just ran away with it. But yeah, you get the idea. So I talked about the ones with really realistic chances. Some others down the road, we're going to have to wait and see. Sandman, of course, Cassie and Speed King. He'll be running in another prep race. They got 25 points to 35 points. These not yet. So we got to see what happens in those 100-point races. You got some others there looking in. Barnes, for example, one of the top $3 million horse for Bob Baffert, his pride, his crown jewel, really. And he has 18.75, and he's pointing to the Santa Anita Derby, where probably a third place finish will put him on the bubble, but a first two finish. There are two other horses pointing to that Santa Anita Derby, and they are Citizen
Now's the
Bull
time for a great
and
deal on a new
also
Honda
journalism.
from the Kelley Blue
right?
Book Best Value
So,
brand.
would it be wise
Buy
for
online,
Bob
reserve from
to
select
maybe
dealers,
ship
or hurry
Barnes
into
to
your
a
local
track,
Honda
one of the
dealer
other
today.
tracks where he doesn't have to face his two big guns, these two awesome, in the point standings, will probably clinch a spot already for all due purposes. It's just not official that they're over 61, but maybe point Barnes somewhere else instead of putting him up against his own horse who doesn't even need points, and also journalism. Make sure Barnes gets in there. So we'll see. So it's a big weekend of racing, and it's shaping up to be very exciting. Who do you think gets it done over there? Who do I think? I really like. I really like Bilt's chances is to be one of the ones that cements it, and Poster. I believe those two as an analyst, as a handicapper, that those two have the very solid shot to clinch a spot, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on some of the others as well, Caldera, and it should be an exciting weekend. And next weekend's going to be really. Next weekend we're going to have the Florida Derby, the Fuker U Stakes to decide the Japanese horse Lexer Cafe. Keep an eye on him. Over there in Japan, they get one. They have their own Derby point system. The Japanese to get one horse officially from Japan in the Derby. And look at what happened last year with Forever Young. Damn, what did he lose by 2 noses or something in a 3-way photo? Then he turns up around and wins the Saudi Cup this year. So they came close last year, and this one looks like the real deal. Lexer Cafe out of none other than American Pharaoh. So we got those races coming up next week. Florida, bunch of stuff going on. So the action really starts this weekend. Let me know, who do you think is going to get it? Who do you think is going to qualify? Let us know in the comments down below. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. It's Friday today, so happy Friday. And hopefully your weekend, best of luck if you're playing the races, and may your weekend get off to a great start. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. And remember, may the horse be with you.